these panels, these companies, excuse me, have to engage in is they have to register with the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. They have to be licensed by them. So do your homework, check that out, ask others who have perhaps purchase solar panels, get recommendations, call my office so that we can do a search and tell you whether or not this particular company that you're looking to do business with is or has been convicted of a crime. We are happy to share that information.
Sanchez says it does not matter if businesses are from out of town. Her office can look into complaints done in El Paso. Vargas and Sanchez advised other El Pasoans to call law enforcement or the county attorney's office if you feel harassed or pressured into any deal. For KTSM 9 News, I'm Aaron Montes.
All right, let's take a break from our headlines and let's take a look outside through our tower cam. It's looking very beautiful on this Thursday afternoon, and it has been a bit warm. So let's check in for your first look at weather with our chief meteorologist, Robert Bettis, who is live from Household Furniture. Hey, Robert.
Hi there, Diana. Well, we are live out here at Household Furniture right near Cañutillo High School on the west side of town. However, there are 7 locations, including Las Cruces. And we're going to talk about a very special event happening for the Memorial Day weekend. So if you've been in the mood for furniture or just flat out need to replace your furniture, this might be the weekend to do it. Before we do that, I want to point your attention to these dark cumulus clouds to the south right now. This is the perfect scenario for our world famous mud balls tonight. The convective selves are brewing up, especially east of the Franklin Mountains. As you can see behind me up toward Las Cruces, fair skies, but there's a slight chance of a couple of drops up in Las Cruces tonight as well. At the airport, it's 87 degrees. We've got dew points in the 40s, so there's plenty of moisture to produce those little drops of rain and stir up some gusty winds on occasion, of course, with the outflow of all the cells in the area. I'm going to have your detailed 9-day forecast, and yes, my friends, we're going to step inside the air-conditioned comfort and find out how you can save 45% on your furniture, whatever you need, or special financing for 72 months. All that coming up in just a bit. Diana?
All right, Robert, thank you. Well, let's get you out on the roads. It is 4:09. We are looking at Loop 375. Things seem to be moving pretty smoothly on both sides. No major delays out there, nothing to report. All right, moving on. Millions of Americans around the country are making their final plans for Memorial Day weekend. In today's Political Minute, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira breaks down what's expected to be busy few days of travel.
Americans hit the road Memorial Day weekend. I'm Washington Bureau Chief. AAA predicting that a record 45 million Americans will travel this holiday weekend. The overwhelming majority, about 39 million, expected to travel by car. The rest will take flights or other forms of transportation, such as buses, trains, or even cruises. Drivers can expect to pay more at the pump this year. The average price for a gallon of gas is $4.56. A year ago, it was $3.18. States seeing prices over $5 are mainly out west, Illinois being the exception. But fuel costs aren't just limited to the road. Airlines are also paying more to fuel up their jets. While AAA reports ticket prices are lower this year for flyers who booked early, that may not be the case for many Americans. According to the latest government data, airline fares are up more than 20% over the past year. I'm Mike Viqueira, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, still ahead, scary moments in a small New Mexico town where a still unknown chemical sent dozens of people to the hospital. We have what first responders saw at the scene and what you're saying about the situation in today's In the Comments segment. Well, thank you so much for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
KTSM 9 News congratulates the class of 2026, sponsored by Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, injury lawyers. KTSM 9 News congratulates the class of 2026. Sponsored by Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, Injury Lawyers.
Welcome back. In today's In the Comments, a hazmat situation in New Mexico left 3 people dead and sent at least 18 first responders to the hospital. State police say officers were called to a home yesterday in Mountain Air on reports of a possible overdose and found 4 people unresponsive inside. 3 of them died. Hazmat crews later responded after first responders began experiencing headaches, nausea, and vomiting. Officials say carbon monoxide and natural gas have been ruled out. Investigators believe the substance is not airborne but can spread through contact. Now, we shared this story to our social media pages, and a lot of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share with us. So we start with Doug Ashby, who says, sounds like a movie plot. Hopefully everyone is okay. And Jesse E. Dorantes says, bet it was a meth lab. Prayers for our EMTs and their families. And Margie Prince Battle simply says, what's going on? Prayers for health. Now, state police say 25 people were exposed in total, but there is no current threat to the public. Now, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to keep hearing from you. So make sure that you are following us on all our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. And don't go anywhere. Still ahead, there's lots to do in the Borderland this Memorial Day weekend. We have more in our Que Pasa segment, bringing you the latest events honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
El Paso Honda.
9-day forecast, sponsored by Labonati Law Firm, specializing in semi-truck accidents. Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Ah, yes. Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer. And outside this very afternoon, we're going to probably see a repeat performance of the mud balls, which of course is the clouds, couple of drops coming down here or there, the gusty winds to stir the dust up, and everything converges all at one time on your freshly washed truck. But that's okay, because we're going to have a lot of sunshine this weekend, so you can wash that truck, having it look fantastic again. I am live at Household Furniture, inside any of the 7 locations at Household Furniture. Here's what you're going to experience. 0 dust balls, 0 gusts, because it's air conditioned to 69 degrees of pure perfection. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, I do need some furniture, but I want to be very careful on what I spent. Well, that's why we're going to talk this afternoon. Now, if you come in and you sit down on, say, this piece right here, which is the semicircular little couch thing, and you see one of these that says final price, well, then your question is answered. Certain things that I'm about to tell you about do not qualify, and if it has a final price sticker, well, then that's the final price. But there is a gentleman waiting. Oh, it's so comfortable. I mean, Damien, can you help me up here, please, sir?
I got you, Robert.
Damien Valenzuela is the manager of the Household Furniture over here on the west side.
Yes.
Nice to see you,
Good
my
to see
friend.
you again.
The movie star eyes are ready to go. Okay, so this is final price.
Yes, sir.
But the whole place, 45% off through Monday?
So we have 45% off or up to 72 months special financing right now.
Okay, we need a bedroom set. Let's look at this as an example. Okay, so you have a bunch of group pricing as well. Tell us about what's going on here. This is very beautiful, by the way.
So this is actually on our ad. Original price compare is $27.69. Right now we're doing the 6-piece for $13.49, which includes the headboard, the footboard, the rails, the dresser, mirror, and the nightstand.
6 pieces, $13.49.
$13.49.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Nope, great deal on this.
And you can have that delivered to your home?
Delivered, set up, and everything.
Everything. All included.
Yes.
We're having some fun on this live remote. Okay, let's take a look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. Now, tonight, perfect scenario for the mud balls. We've got convection, especially south of the border, heading toward the east side of El Paso. Couple of drops coming down, gusty winds as those cells break apart. I want to put in a slight chance for the west side of town and Las Cruces as well. And of course, the winds will be accompanying this. Not a great chance of rain, but a chance of some isolated showers. Everything changes tomorrow with a lot of sunshine and a high temperature of 91 degrees. I popped up the temperatures just a little bit this weekend over Saturday at 92. Sunday, I think we're going to be at about 94 degrees with lots of sunshine. And on Memorial Day, we'll be looking at isolated showers that will crop up. And of course, yes, that could stir up some gusty winds and some moderate dust as well by late in the afternoon. Everything starts to clear out by Tuesday. By Thursday and Friday, we'll see a return of the showers, chance of isolated thunderstorms by late day on Friday. Damon, do you have any kind of device that will gently massage me?
Oh, we do. I'll put you on that next.
Of course. Thank you. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
Expert tips from your student doc. Sponsored by Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine. Signs and symptoms of esophageal cancer.
Hey everybody, I'm Sydney Alvarez here with student Dr. Hannah Young, here to share some signs and symptoms of esophageal cancer.
Thanks, Sid. The first sign is dysphagia, or trouble swallowing. If food feels stuck, or you notice frequent burping, regurgitation, or pain when swallowing, this could signal irritation or blockage, often an early warning of esophageal cancer. Next is persistent heartburn or indigestion. A burning sensation, chest pressure, or pain after eating may mean stomach acid isn't staying where it should. Third is chronic coughing or a hoarse voice. If reflux reaches the throat, it can inflame and irritate your vocal cords. Finally, unexplained weight loss. If you're dropping pounds without dieting, it may reflect loss of appetite or difficulty eating.
Hannah, thank you so much. For more information, go to burrell.edu.
Expert tips from your student doc. Sponsored by Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine.
first.
KTSM 9 Que Pasa, sponsored by El Paso Live. Your city, your stage.
We're back now with our Que Pasa segment, bringing you the latest events across the borderland for Memorial Day weekend. We begin with this. New Mexico invites you to their Wine Fest in Las Cruces. Celebrate the weekend with great New Mexican wines, food, local artisans, and of course, live music. The event is happening from noon to 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 23rd through Monday, May 25th at the Southern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Tickets start at $34 per person. And Concordia Cemetery is hosting their Memorial Day Remembrance Ceremony. The Concordia Heritage Association will be honoring the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice. The ceremony is happening at 10 a.m. on Monday, May 25th on East Yandell Road. And Flags Across America is announcing a weekend filled with events for Memorial Day. It all begins tomorrow with their Freedom 250 truck. El Pasoans can step inside the immersive mobile museum and view patriotic displays honoring veterans. And on Saturday, starting at 8:30 a.m., there will be a Memorial Day wreath laying ceremony, followed by the official Memorial Day ceremony happening both Saturday and Sunday. All events will be held at Old Glory Memorial. Now you can catch our Que Pasa segment every Thursday right here on KTSM 9 News at noon and KTSM First at 4. And for much more on events happening across the borderland, you can visit our website at ktsm.com and search Que Pasa. And don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more headed your way after the break in our next half hour. You're watching KTSM 9 Plus.
Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing so far, don't stop here.
That's right. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so much more.
Breaking news, exclusive content, weather, and traffic updates.
And don't forget to download and stream exclusive shows right here on KTSM Plus, all for free.
From Studio 9 to small town spotlights and extended interviews.
Plus, all of your local news.
So follow,
stream,
and stay connected with KTSM 9.
organic light.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital newscast. We begin this half hour with some news from New Mexico. Severe drought and fire danger have caused the New Mexico State Forestry Division to place heavy restrictions on campsites going into Memorial Day weekend. The state has already seen several wildfires this year, and with the drought elevating the danger, the State Forestry Division says campfires will not be allowed at any of their sites.
What we're trying to accomplish here is to limit the number of human-caused wildfires because the conditions, given the low snowpack and the incredible winds that we're having this spring, they're very challenging conditions to fight wildfire in.
The governor issued an executive order yesterday calling on the New Mexico Drought Task Force to mobilize resources and find ways to conserve and protect the state's water supplies. Now, this year alone, the state has had 23 large wildfires. That's according to the Southwest Coordination Center. Now, last year, the state had 29. State Forestry says once conditions improve with the monsoon rains, they can lift those fire restrictions. And one of those 23 fires is the Seven Cabins fire burning in Lincoln County. Officials telling us that the blaze was sparked by a deadly medical transport plane crash. The Seven Cabins fire has already burned more than 16,000 acres near Capitan. Containment fell slightly to 6%, but fire managers say crews burned away fuels to make their fire lines easier to defend. Closures and evacuation orders are still in effect in the area. There are over 800 personnel working to improve control lines, and that's according to the Fire Incident Management Team. All right, to our Austin newsroom. Last year, Texas lawmakers were successful in appropriating billions of dollars in the One Big Beautiful Bill to reimburse states for border security. That money could possibly reimburse the $11 billion Texas spent for Operation Lone Star, the state's border security initiative during the Biden administration. But a year later, that money is still in D.C. Capitol reporter Dylan McKim reports on where that money is and how this issue has become a talking point in the Texas gubernatorial race.
$3 billion for buoys and border wall, $58 million for concertina wire and fencing, $6 billion to send Texas National Guard soldiers and DPS troopers to the border. Those are just some of the line items of the more than $11 billion the state spent on Operation Lone Star. And it appeared last year at least some of that money was going to be reimbursed. But since then, Texas has not seen a cent. So where is that money? The One Big Beautiful Bill passed last year appropriated $13.5 billion for border security reimbursements. $10 billion went to the Department of Homeland Security, and the remaining dollars went to the Department of Justice. So far, those agencies have not dispersed the funds. A spokesperson for DHS said in a statement it's assessing the best path forward for the fund, and said under President Trump, American communities will get the federal support they deserve.
I am calling on Greg Abbott to go get our money to make himself useful.
Gina Hinojosa, the Democratic gubernatorial candidate, called on Governor Greg Abbott to secure that money now and use it to help struggling Texans. She proposes using the money multiple ways, including $1,000 for each household, property tax relief, or health care for restaurant employees.
It belongs to us, and we need a governor who's going to go fight for it and get it here for the people of Texas. And
the governor's office said Abbott traveled to D.C. on February 21st to meet with the president. The topic of conversation, border security reimbursements. The office did not provide specifics of what was said, but in response to Hinojosa's comments, a spokesperson for the governor said, quote, "The truth is Texans paid the price for Biden's open border chaos, and Operation Lone Star was the only thing standing between chaos and our communities. Now these open border Democrats want to make empty promises for resources they never supported and fought against time and time again." The $10 billion in the DHS fund will remain available until September 2034, and the $3.5 billion in the DOJ fund will remain available until September 2028. The DOJ did not respond to our questions. Reporting in Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
And a spokesperson for Senator John Cornyn said that the senator and other Texas lawmakers wrote a letter to the DOJ and DHS urging them to prioritize Texas in distributing the funds. All right, let's switch gears and take a look at our forecast. We have our chief meteorologist who joins us live from Household Furniture. Oh, I think he's a little busy right now, but Robert, what's going on?
Oh. No, I'm fine, Diana, and thank you for asking. I was outside monitoring the weather, and then I needed just to unwind a little bit on the massage chair. I'm live at Household Furniture, and it is Memorial Day weekend. And if you decide to come to one of the 7 locations, you may want to sit in this little puppy right here that literally uses airbags to squeeze your arms and also little rollers to just massage out all the stress from the week in the weather center that you've experienced. It's doing something else down in the lower back area. It feels so good. Damian Valenzuela, he is the manager. Damian, even this right here is 45% off?
Yes, sir, Robert. It's 45% off, and it's available to actually take home today.
Okay, and I noticed there's a chair next to me. That one's on sale, too?
It's on sale, but I can't even give this one away because of the logo on there.
It says the Cowboys?
It says the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. You're a Titans fan.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the forecast. Now, we've got gusty winds on approach tonight. That's going to probably stir up the dust. We've got a chance of a couple of drops for mud balls this evening. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We'll talk about how we'll have a chance of showers on Memorial Day as well. Diana, Damien, do you have anything where I could fully recline?
Yes, I do. I'm going to show you some better stuff right now.
Oh, boy.
All right, Robert, we'll check in with you in just a bit. Republicans on Capitol Hill are having a hard time passing a bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies. Now, senators left town today for the Memorial Day recess with the bill stalled. Washington correspondent Margaret Chadburn has the latest.
The Senate planned to hold a marathon series of votes on Capitol Hill, a so-called vote-a-rama. At stake, tens of billions of dollars for ICE and Border Patrol, and a key test of President Trump's ability to keep Republicans united while advancing his agenda.
Are you losing control of the Senate Republicans?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Some in the GOP had reservations about the bill's $1 billion towards security for the White House campus, directed for the new ballroom. Democrats are critical of the GOP plan altogether, the ballroom funding and its lack of immigration enforcement reforms, as well as the use of reconciliation to pass it, a process that wouldn't require their votes.
Republicans are divided over things that Americans don't want, but Democrats are united around things that the people do want.
Democrats are also seizing on the Justice Department's controversial $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, meant for those claiming political prosecution, with amendments planned to block it.
Is it possible on May 21st, 2026, the Republicans finally found an ethical bridge too far?
Many worry it will be used as a way to reward the president's allies, including rioters convicted of January 6th attacks on the Capitol. Even some Republicans are opposed.
I think we have more questions. I think the weaponization fund is a question. The ballroom still, I think, remains vague.
Coming up, an El Paso city representative who initially voted to approve an agreement that paved the way for a meta data center in the Northeast is proposing a policy that would prevent the project. We hear from you in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you for watching KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
KTSM 9 News congratulates the class of 2026, sponsored by Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, injury lawyers. KTSM 9 News congratulates the class of 2026. Sponsored by Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman, Injury Lawyers.
Nine-day forecast, sponsored by Labonati Law Firm, specializing in semi-truck accidents. Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
It took everything they had at Household Furniture to get me out of that massage chair. Grown men pulling and lifting. And I said, I can't just transition from this massage chair to just normal life again. I'm going to need something better. So they put me on a Tempur-Pedic mattress. It's just absorbing every inch of me, and it feels so good. All right, before we talk about the special where you can afford to have a Tempur-Pedic, which is the Mercedes-Benz of mattresses, if you ever wanted to live life and wake up refreshed, this is the way to do it. All right, are you ready for some mud balls and gusty winds, my friend? Here comes your exclusive 9-day forecast. Now, tonight, as we speak, if you're looking to the west and south, you can already see the dark clouds. Those scattered showers are about ready to move through the El Paso area with a slight chance they could be up into the Las Cruces area too. I do expect the winds, the outflow from those cells to produce some dust. We're going to get not a great chance of rain, but there will be some showers. Of course, when you combine the dust and the rain, you get our famous mud balls tonight. But don't worry, we'll be able to clean up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 very sunny days in a row. 91 the high temperature for tomorrow. We'll be up to 92 by Saturday, 94 on Sunday. For Memorial Day, we're looking at a chance of showers that day with a high of 96. That should be our hottest day. By the afternoon, of course, late day, those showers could stir up some gusty winds and some dust as well. All right, Damian Valenzuela's here at Household Furniture. Household Furniture has 7 locations. Now, oh, thank you.
I got you, Robert.
You know what? Never mind. I really don't want to get, oh, whoops. So let me ask you a question. Normally, these might be a little bit expensive, but you're saying this is 45% off? Does that qualify for that deal?
So this one's a little bit different. So you can actually get a Tempur-Pedic for under $50 right now a month.
$50 a month?
Yes, under $50 a month.
And you have a bundling special.
We do. You see that TV right in the back?
Wait a minute, that TV?
Mm-hmm.
Brand new?
55-inch TV, brand new.
So if you buy the Tempur-Pedic and you finance it with your special financing, it's $50 a month, and you're giving that too?
You get a free TV and free delivery and setup, and we can include sheets, pillows, anything you'd like.
All of that?
All of it.
$50 a month?
$50 a month.
Well, now you've pretty much removed any motivation I had to ever leave the bed, because I can watch KTSM on, off, right here as I relax on my Tempur-Pedic. Damian, thank you and Household Furniture. I can't wait for this Memorial Day weekend.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. All right, you stay with KTSM 9 News. There's more luxurious comfort coming up in just a bit. Diana?
All right, Robert, thank you. Well, in the comments segment, an El Paso City representative who once voted in favor of the incentive deal that helped bring Meta's data center to Northeast El Paso is now pushing to stop the city from pursuing similar projects in the future. District 8 Representative Chris Canales announced that this week he's introducing a proposal called Policy Direction to not pursue data centers. The item is expected to go before City Council next Tuesday. If approved, the policy would direct the city not to actively recruit, pursue, or offer incentives for future hyperscale data centers, arguing those projects do not align with El Paso's long-term sustainability and infrastructure goals. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and a lot of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share with us. So we begin with Oscar Fierro, who says, build the data centers. They're necessary. And Aurora Duran disagrees, saying, thank you, Representative Canales. Texas is running out of water. We are going to end up like Corpus Christi if we don't stop these data centers. And finally, we heard from City Representative Chris Canales, who said, I'm proposing this action, which the City Council will consider next Tuesday, May 26th. Now, we will have much more on data centers up on our website, ktsm.com. And we are not quite done yet. We'll be right back after the break. This is KTSM 9 News, First at 4.
Legal Matters, sponsored by Mendez Isaac Jody, attorneys at law.
I'm Joseph Isaac with Mendez Isaac Jody Law Firm right here in El Paso. We fight for the people of El Paso every day, including those who have been injured in a motorcycle accident. Last year in Texas, nearly 9,000 motorcycle crashes occurred, with around 600 killed and over 2,400 seriously injured. These aren't just statistics I'm sharing with you. They're parents, children, veterans, our friends. Too often, drivers forget that motorcyclists have just as much right to the road as anybody. And when they don't pay attention, the consequences are severe. Motorcycle accidents can be devastating, something that no family should endure alone. If you or someone you love has been hurt or killed in a motorcycle accident, let us help you hold the negligent party responsible. Remember to respect the road and look out for those on two wheels. For a free consultation, call us or visit us at mijlawfirm.com. We fight for the people of El Paso every day.
Legal Matters, sponsored by Mendez Isaac Jody, attorneys at law. Log on to ktsm.com/legal matters for more info.
Hello everyone, live at Household Furniture for the 45% off or special financing Memorial Day weekend special sale. I have one bit of bad news to disclose. The Household Furniture store here on the west side is very large, and I'm unable to locate my shoes any longer. But that's okay. Let's take a look at the exclusive 9-day forecast. Now, tonight, we're getting a chance of our famous mud balls. We're going to have gusty winds, a few showers here and there as the system moves right through the heart of town, so it'll be pretty bad tonight for a while, but then the winds will taper off, and we get 3 perfectly sunny days in a row. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Memorial Day, we'll also have a chance of isolated showers and some winds with those showers by late in the afternoon. Diana, who needs shoes when you have maximum comfort?
That's right. It looks like you are having a great time, Robert. I'm definitely envying you just a little bit here in the studio.
You don't have to come out. I've got everything covered.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But if you need help, I'm done after this.
I'm good.
All right, Robert. Thank you.
Science and the Arts, Dr.
were both driving on Donovan when got into an altercation. Orozco reportedly started chasing Fino Jr. and his 3 passengers, going as far as to allegedly call his sons Jose Alberto and Christian Bradley for help. Police say the 3 then blocked Fino Jr.'s vehicle, leading to a verbal dispute. During that fight, investigators say Fino Jr. was shot before they all ran from the scene. That led to a jury finding Orozco, who you see on your screen, not guilty of murder during his jury trial yesterday. Murder charges against his brother and father remain pending. And a man accused of robbing a South Central El Paso electronics store will remain behind bars after a magistrate judge denied bond this morning. Prosecutors say the suspect, identified as Rodolfo Madrid Torres, attacked 73-year-old store owner Marta Ascuna during the robbery earlier this month. Officials state that he placed her in a chokehold, pulling her hair and arm before taking about $1,400 in cash, 300 Mexican pesos, and several personal belongings, including her passport and debit card. Authorities say Ascuna managed to lock the suspect inside the business, but he escaped before officers arrived. Police later tracked him down and arrested him. Meanwhile, the future name of the Cesar Chavez border highway could soon be up for debate. Senator Cesar Blanco and City Representative Josh Acevedo are hosting community listening sessions this week to hear from El Pasoans about a possible highway renaming, following national conversations surrounding the legacy of labor leader Cesar Chavez. The meeting will be held later today at 5:30 at the Hilos de Plata Senior Center. And in case you missed it, out-of-town businesses are trying to collect $100,000 from an El Paso woman for solar panels she says she never received or asked for through a lawsuit. This week, she is speaking out after filing her own counterclaim, saying that this is all a scam and is now seeking damages. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Erin Montes brings us her story.
To this day, Lorena Vargas does not have solar panels on top of her east side home. And she says she was never aware of a contract saying she agreed to pay or have a loan taken out to pay $100,000 for solar panels. Vargas and her attorneys at Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid allege the out-of-town businesses from New Jersey and Florida tried to scam her. In her counterclaim, Vargas is demanding a jury to review the case and damages up to $250,000. Vargas spoke with media at TRLA's offices in South El Paso. She says she wonders why the companies chose her and still remembers seeing a stranger knocking at her door at 9 p.m.
It was so terrible for me to think. I can say how I feel right now inside of me. I think I'm gonna end up at the hospital.
Vargas and attorneys at Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid named Cross River Bank, Sunlight Financial LLC, and Titan Asset Purchasing LLC as reckless predators in her lawsuit. We have reached out to those businesses for comment. An El Paso County attorney, Cristina Sanchez, joined Vargas and her attorneys to warn other El Pasoans about potential scams. She says some have used high-pressure tactics and door-to-door soliciting as ways to rope El Pasoans into a scheme.
One of the things that these companies, have to engage in is they have to register with the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. They have to be licensed by them. So do your homework, check that out, ask others who have perhaps purchase solar panels, get recommendations, call my office so that we can do a search and tell you whether or not this particular company that you're looking to do business with is or has been convicted of a crime. We are happy to share that information.
Sanchez says it does not matter if businesses are from out of town. Her office can look into complaints done in El Paso. Vargas and Sanchez advised other El Pasoans to call law enforcement or the county attorney's office if you feel harassed or pressured into any deal. For KTSM 9 News, I'm Erin Montes.
All right, let's take a break from our headlines and let's take a look outside through our tower cam. It's looking very beautiful on this